Well, hello, everybody. This is Roy Heatherly with the Monroe Chamber of Commerce. I'm with Quentin Durr, and we're here to introduce a new program to you. It's called Small Business Stories, hosted by the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and Louisiana Catalyst. And our first guest today is someone who's very, very special to the Monroe, Northeast Louisiana community. It's Melissa Saye
Hello.
with the Northeast Louisiana Children's Museum.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be the first guest. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Isn't that cool? So you're kind of, and Quentin's going to throw a question at you, but you're kind of an iconic figure because everybody knows you and everybody knows where the museum is. It's purple.
Yeah, our purple box of fun. You know, we love to call it that.
But you have an interesting story on how you got here and then where you're going, and we want to find out more today about that.
Well, bring on the questions. I love talking about it.
Absolutely. Well, so what I love about you being our first guest is really the essence of this stories is what stories are out there that most people don't think about. And so when you think about the Children's Museum, you don't think about that as a business. But I know in everything there's a business.
For sure.
And how things got started. So really digging into how some of our biggest resources got started and the story behind it. So tell us, how did you get to Monroe and the story behind it?
Well, I came crying in the back seat of a car. I left my family in Baton Rouge to move up here with my husband, who was going to clerk for a judge for 1 year, 33 years ago. And I was pregnant with our first child. I taught at a small private school called Grace, and we just fell in love with this community and decided to make it the place to raise our children. And so we have, and we've had 47 children here. Not really, but a lot. And feel like it's just a great community. There's lots of opportunity, like for myself, to start a not-for-profit here. I mean, I just don't think that would be something I could have tackled in a bigger town, but here in this great small town and this great embracing community and very family-oriented, it was not easy, but lots of fun and well worth it.
Right.
So you saw a void. You're teaching
We did.
at Grace.
Yeah, we did.
And it was you and
Martha.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about how you created this idea and how you made it happen.
Okay, I love telling the story. So we both taught at the same school. She was the cut and paste engineer, she called herself. She was a teaching assistant. And we really were just discussing at a party. We had both been to the New Orleans Children's Museum. We both had small children at the time and felt like it might be something that we should look into here. And so we started with finding a board, then looking around for a building. We always, from the beginning, had wanted to be at Forsyth Park because we felt like it was a great location. It's a historic park. It's very central to the community and to the region. But we wanted to get open quickly because we just felt like there was a need, like you said, Roy, and we were ready to get it started. So we found a location and a very generous person that would allow us to rent the building in the downtown area, and we opened in 1998. And we've been there ever since and have loved the location, but truly have outgrown the location. And that's a nod to the community and to the region that we serve. So we started small, and the first half of the space quickly grew into the second half of the space, and now we're just busting out at the seams. So.
And you've had a lot of different businesses and individuals who helped support you. But when you say you're busting at the seams, why don't you share the number of visitors that you get every year and where they're from?
Right. So I had to make my husband a baseball cap that says it because he says, people don't understand. We see about 50,000 visitors a year in our spot. And we're turning some away just school groups because we can't fit them in all at the same time.
Right.
We draw from 17 different parishes in Northeast Louisiana, South Arkansas, Vicksburg over in Mississippi. We calculated in 1 month recently that we had 93 unique zip codes from around the United States that came to visit. And those people are coming in to visit family, to stay in our hotels, to dine in our restaurants and shop at our stores. Right. And so, it's those partnerships that we have with businesses and organizations in the community that support us and allow us to have all these great numbers, that come here and visit and enjoy time together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that speaks a lot on the business side that y'all keep up with those numbers because I think a lot of small businesses don't keep up with data.
Yeah.
And data helps drive decisions, but it also helps support
Right.
And so being able to have those numbers, how has that been able to help you garnish support? Because I'm sure the first thing people go, well, who even comes to that?
Right.
And you're
Yeah.
able to say, oh,
Well,
this
here we
how
are.
many.
I know, and as I've grown as a person, I've realized that data is very important. And so those numbers drive grants our direction because it's justification for the funding that we're getting through grants and foundations. They want to know that they're making a difference, and they are with their donations to the museum and their contributions and our partnerships too. For example, we have a great renewable energy company here called Drax. That's the corporate headquarters is here. I just got back from Aliceville, Alabama, and Liberty, Mississippi, because we brought our programming there with our partnerships. So not only is our reach just right here in our region, it allows us to expand that a company has here and what they can offer in the communities that they serve. So it's a small business that has a great big group of people that's making it what it is.
Right. So when you talk to people in Winsboro or Rayville or anywhere, Bastrop, you are their children's museum.
We are. As a matter of fact, Quitman came yesterday to visit the Mother Goose at the Children's Museum and do some STEM activities. We truly are, with all the small communities around us. We are their children's museum. And not only do we have them come visit us, we go see them as well. We have a great extensive outreach program, some wonderful educational STEM opportunities that expand on the curriculum that they learn in school, that support the teachers. That's what we're here for. We're here to not just have fun, because it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to dissect an owl pellet, believe it or not. But we're also see ourselves as a support system for the educational, systems that are here to open the minds of these amazingly brilliant children and children that are just looking for their direction. It's that pipeline for the potential future workforce. I love that term too. That allows us to say, wow, look at that child, so excited about this particular engineering activity. Maybe that's what sparks an interest in becoming an engineer. Right. And it's a great place to see that happening.
So you talked about programming. For those who've never been or are interested in saying, okay, what do they have to offer? What are some of the programs, or if I just showed it, what am I going to see, and how does that play into some of the educational programs? Well,
you're going to see a lot of power in play, for sure. The interactions that children have between each other, of course, goes on all the time. There's a medical space. There's a space. There's brain teaser puzzles and activities. We have a baby bayou. We have a giant mouth that you can learn about the teeth and brush the teeth. All that's lots of fun and eye candy, but the what's going on behind it is really the stuff that makes a difference. It's the fine motor skills that they're learning, or it's the repetition of things that they've heard in class. It's counting and sorting and numbers and engineering, and all that's just sneaking in there amongst the fun that we're having. But our outreach, the programming that we have, is very significant. I mentioned the owl pellets, but one thing that we did with actually the company that I was just talking about, Drax, we took this 16-foot inflatable Earth that we have called the Earth Balloon into their communities. We literally saw thousands of children. It's a giant Earth. We talk about the continents. We review the things that they learn in school, and then they get inside. And we talk about other things on the inside. The high schoolers could hardly stand it. They were so excited. They had to peek in, even though it wasn't even for them. That's just one of many. There's healthcare-focused ones. We have a giant stuffy that unzips and you take.
Talk about that a little bit. The
yes.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah. So Stuffy is a giant doll, basically, and we unzip him and we take out his pillow-type organs, and we review the functions of each of the major organs. We talk about the significance and importance of taking care of your heart, of what maybe they've seen and they know they need to exercise, rest, all the things that they're hearing about that they need to know in order to, be preventative and having some issues when they are later in life.
For us baby boomers,
yes,
kind of like the Operation Game.
Yeah, which we have one at the Children's Museum too. Exactly.
Talk about the heart too. The not with Stuffy, but you have a heart.
Oh yeah, so we did. We developed a giant heart. That's a future outreach that we're working on. I drew it on a piece of paper. And we had it made for us, and it talks about it's an opportunity for kids to learn about the chambers of their heart, how to take care of their heart. We partnered with Vista at Louisiana Tech to create a book that goes along with it, and it was created from a grant, actually. Back to the grants and the importance of grants and foundations that help fund this great program that will be something that kids all around the region can enjoy very shortly.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of businesses, small business, gets help from other small businesses and individuals. You've had your share of help if you go around to some of the programs or the exhibits that are in there. Talk about. There's an ambulance in there, and who gave that? And tell a little bit about the story about Dr. Norris and that giant mouth a little bit.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that too. Well, so the ambulance was donated really when we first opened. It was we had to take a window out to get the ambulance in. And it's been a great anchor in the museum. Acadian Ambulance came and wrapped it recently and freshened it up for us, and we appreciate that. And it takes a little of the fear away of seeing an ambulance from kids when they see them driving down the street. They know what they're for. They like to go in there, pretend to drive, pretend to be the EMS driver. If they have something at the cafe, at our little cafe that's perhaps they need to go to the hospital afterwards for they go right to the ambulance. It's lots of fun. And then the Big Mouth is really truly an anchor in the museum. And Dr. Norris was a local dentist here years ago that got together with a bunch of other dentists, and they each had a block of styrofoam and carved out a tooth. All the teeth, it's a replica of an adult mouth. The kids can go in there and count the teeth, brush the teeth, look for cavities, floss. And in February is Dental Health Month, so we have local dentists that donate literally thousands of toothbrushes so that kids can come in. Any kid that has a field trip then gets a free toothbrush to take home. And we do have schools and teachers that wait for February for their field trip so that their kids can get a new toothbrush every year. And we love being that filter to help that happen, with our community and the schools there.
Right. No, I love that because it seems like you're incorporating local businesses, but what that does is inspire children into professions.
Right.
So you might say, hey, I may want to be a dentist or a heart surgeon or learn about biology of the body and how that could lead into science field. So that's real cool.
Well, thanks. Well, in fact, our Stuffy, the very first time we did Stuffy, we had a person from the local youth theater here doing it, and he became a doctor.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And he lives in Florida. We were super proud of that. And we felt like we had a little inspiration going on there. We've had that going on over the years. And it's certainly not a reflection on me. It's a reflection on the community because of the support we have for this wonderful educational place that we're lucky to have here.
So speaking of support, your dream has always been to go to Forsyth Park.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what that's about and how can people help you do that, where you're going and everything.
Well, we are truly thrilled to be on the path to our permanent location at Forsyth Park. We have been working closely with a great group of advisors, an executive committee. The city of Monroe cleared the land where the old pool was on Forsyth Park. It's full of dirt. Now it's got grass. And we're working on our plans to build a brand new 20,000 square foot building at the back of that park. The historic building at the front will remain the city's, and we will have a connection between. But we're in a capital campaign right now. It's a big project. It's a doable project. I truly believe it in this area. We're already over halfway there.
Nice.
And it's now time for us to introduce all the fabulous things that we have in the new museum, to give people the opportunity to figure out where they can help. And so we've started a Founding Families, where the first 100 people will have a very special place in the museum. If they contribute $5,000 or more to the capital campaign, they'll have a special acknowledgement there. We're also acknowledging the pool. We saved the tiles from the old pool, and we'll have a mural of the tiles. That'll be a hands-on project for children and instructors and artists to make together at the new place. And so people will be able to buy the tiles and have their little piece of our history at Forsyth Park included in there. And then, of course, we'll have fundraisers throughout the next couple of years. Our next one is called the Juleps and Jockeys, and it's an adult stick horse race on April 23rd. So it'll be a lot of fun.
You'll be surprised that who's doing it, actually.
Yes, we've got some great jockeys. I think Brittany Spurs will be there as one of the horse names. And Harry Trotter is another horse name that's here. So the jockeys are having a lot of fun getting everything together. And we certainly appreciate people getting out there and being brave and taking a giant step for us and helping us create this needed funding.
It's a huge quality of life issue for us. And as we grow as a city, as we grow as a region, and add new people coming in, one of our biggest selling points is the Children's Museum. Talk a little bit about that aspect. Talk about the growth of visitors that you're projecting with this.
Yes. So, of course, and I said when we were busting at the seams that we really truly are. And we don't have an opportunity for some outdoor learning, which is a big, important feature in the growth of a child, in the development of, all the senses and all the skills that you can. So we project that we're going to double our visitorship at the new location, especially being anchored at Forsyth Park. I mean, there really truly are hundreds of thousands of people that come through that park every year to spend time together at the park, to play a baseball game, golf, soccer. It's just all right there. And just to add the slice of, a big slice of us being there too, is just going to increase the number of people, but also the opportunities for quality of life for people who come in to visit to say, hey, look at this wonderful place that you have here. It can be a place that people visit. We have a lot of people that come in for tournaments and for family reunions and activities, and to have a place like the Children's Museum here for them to say, well, in the downtime, let's go to the Children's Museum, let's spend some time at the park. It's just going to be an amazing addition to what we already offer here in this great town.
And the architects that are redoing the master plans for our parks have built you guys into that master plan for Forsyth Park, right?
They have. And the consideration of the walking space and the flow and the safety of everybody is all being considered in this master plan. That's really impressive. And of course, it's the highlighting Northeast Louisiana, and also in our new museum, that's where our exhibit areas will focus on what we have to offer here in Northeast Louisiana, what to be proud of here, who's come from here, who's going to be next as an entrepreneur, and be a part of this big giant place that we love to go every day. And of course, there'll be some purple because we have to continue the purple box of fun. And fun is always a big feature. But, we're here to make a difference, and we're here to help support the educational system and improve the numbers that we know can be improved, and to support everyone who wants to make this place even better than it already is. So I really truly do feel honored to be a part of this, and thankful for landing here, even though it was crying in the back of my car.
Well, we appreciate the fact that you chose to stay here. You're one of those stories that we like to share, that you guys could have left a year and you chose to stay here and raise your kids. And your son is a senior this year, right?
He is the baby. He is a senior. Yeah, he's going to go play D2 soccer. We're so proud of him.
That's
and
great.
He got a real quality education here in Washita Parish. And we know he's going to be a great addition to the community one day,
Melissa,
too.
tell us one more time how someone can get involved, whether individual or business.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, we have a website. We have a phone. Everybody can call the Children's Museum. We actually had someone that came in for a birthday party over the weekend, left his name and number, said, I want to be a sponsor. Give me a call. So our number is 361-9611. You can drop by. Of course, we have fundraisers in the queue. We are working on grants. If you have an exhibit idea that you think is something that highlights Northeast Louisiana and you have a picture of it, email it to us. We would love your ideas too, because this is everybody's museum and everybody in the region. So bring them on. We love the ideas and we appreciate the support.
Melissa, you were a perfect first guest. You really were. And this is the Monroe Chamber Louisiana Catalyst Small Business Stories. And we've had Melissa Saye with the Northeast Louisiana Children's Museum with us today. So thanks for listening and being with us.
Yeah,
Thank you all. Thank you so much for having me on. I truly appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right.